In a forgotten alleyway of a bustling city, among trash bags and broken bottles, a homeless woman stumbled upon something that would change her life forever. It wasn't a miracle, or at least, it didn't look like one at first. It looked like danger, death, and a test of her own soul. This is her story. Her name was Amelia Brooks. At just 32 years old, life had already beaten her down in ways most could only imagine. Once a promising nursing student, a series of tragedies, losing her parents, a devastating breakup, falling into debt, dragged her into homelessness. Each night, Amelia slept beneath an overpass, using a torn blanket as her only shield against the cold. She scavenged dumpsters behind restaurants for leftover food, fighting rats and shame at every turn. Yet, despite it all, Amelia clung to a tiny ember of hope. A belief that maybe, just maybe, life still had a second chance waiting for her. One rainy night, as she rummaged through the dumpster behind a luxury hotel, her hand brushed against something strange, not a stale sandwich, not rotting fruit, but something heavy and wrapped in plastic. Her heart raced as she pulled it free. It was a duffel bag. Inside, stacks of cash. Tens of thousands of dollars. At first, her mind couldn't process it. She clutched the bag to her chest, her fingers trembling. She looked around wildly. Was someone watching? Was this a setup? She ducked behind the dumpster, opened the bag further, and that's when she saw it. Some of the bills were stained, with blood. Panic surged through Amelia's body. She wanted to run. She wanted to disappear with the money and start a new life. But something in her gut screamed danger. Before she could decide what to do, she heard footsteps. 3 men emerged from the shadows, faces hidden beneath black hoods. One of them grabbed her roughly by the arm. "You didn't see anything," he hissed, pressing something cold against her ribs. "A gun. Walk away, forget it, or you'll end up like the last one." They yanked the duffel bag from her hands, tearing it open, inspecting the contents. Blood dripped from one corner. The men vanished into the darkness as quickly as they appeared, leaving Amelia shaking, gasping, and feeling smaller than she ever had before. She knew she had to make a choice. Stay silent. Or go to the police. She chose courage. At the local precinct, Amelia, drenched, cold, and trembling, told the officers everything. The money. The blood. The threats. At first, they didn't believe her. Another homeless woman with a wild story. But when detectives returned to the alleyway, they found more than just trash. Hidden behind the dumpster, in a shallow pile of garbage, was a body. It was a young man, barely 20 years old. He had been missing for days. The money in the bag was his, a ransom that had gone terribly wrong. The police launched a full-scale investigation. Surveillance cameras from the hotel caught glimpses of the masked men. A manhunt began. And Amelia? She became a key witness. The detectives moved her into protective custody. She was no longer just a forgotten soul living on the streets, she was someone important. But her heart was heavy. She hadn't saved the boy. He was gone. A few days later, Amelia was asked to meet someone, the family of the boy she had helped uncover. She was terrified. Would they blame her? Hate her? Instead, when she met them, a grieving mother and father, hollow-eyed but kind, they hugged her. "You did the right thing," the mother whispered, tears streaming down her face. "You gave us answers. You gave us our son back." They wanted to thank her. And they did, in a way that would change Amelia's entire future. The family, wealthy and powerful, offered her something unimaginable. They paid for Amelia's stay at a rehabilitation center. They provided her with therapy for her trauma. They helped her enroll back into nursing school. They even gave her a small apartment to start anew. "You saved our son's dignity," the father said. "Now let us help save you." The road wasn't easy. Amelia fought her own demons every day, addiction to despair, memories of the street, moments when she almost gave up. But every time she felt herself falling, she remembered the boy she couldn't save, and the life she had been given in his honor. 2 years later, Amelia graduated top of her nursing class. She dedicated her life to working with the homeless, offering care, dignity, and compassion to those society had tossed aside. Every night before bed, she whispered a prayer for the boy she never knew but who had given her everything. Sometimes, miracles come wrapped in terror and loss. Sometimes, the people society forgets are the ones brave enough to do what is right. Amelia Brooks had every reason to run, but she chose to stand. And because she did, 2 lives were saved, one in death, and one in rebirth.